So up till now, we have decoded, deconstructed, and modeled what the success journey of Dr. Balwinder Thakkar sir has been. And I feel that out of our discussion, me being the vehicle between you and sir, have been able to decode it in a as far as possible way. And you're free to comment over it. You're free to send your questions. We'll be able to address this in the upcoming sessions. And maybe you can send them right across to sir as well. Sir, by this juncture, I would like to ask a very pertinent question, and this is a very direct question. This is a very sharp question. You may choose not to answer this, but it is my duty to ask this question. This is regarding IOS, the Indian Orthodontic Society. Now, sometimes I feel, and it is not just my perception, it is a perception of many other orthodontists who may be not wishing to speak out things, maybe due to whatever reason. Somewhere people have a sentiment that iOS is becoming more of a cult. Like, you cannot say anything about it. You cannot even think anything about it. The moment you discuss things which should be discussed, screenshots are taken and sent to different places. Then people get hurt if the questions are being raised. I could relate to one incident which I call as the IPO fiasco. Recently, what happened was I won't say orthodontists, but some overzealous marketers framed a marketing flyer in which they tried to directly target the consumer, that is the patient in the Indian scenario. And they mentioned like that the IPO orthodontist, who, just for the clarification, an orthodontist who has cleared the IPO, in Indian Board of Orthodontists certification or examination, is a better orthodontist. And that flyer indicated in great detail that how the IPO examination happens and why an orthodontist who has cleared IPO certification is a better orthodontist vis-a-vis the normal orthodontist. So this thing was there, it was marketed in social media, and then questions were being raised. Somehow this thing was slightly slid under the carpet, and no formal, I wouldn't say apology, but no formal white paper or no formal say word of some sort of statement from the organization's mouthpiece came out. Behind the backs, we got to know that some people are really upset with this, in terms of like, one thing is something bad happened, so we are like apologetic. But there's another aspect. Sometimes people get angry that why is this thing happening? Why are the people raising questions? So how would you see, don't you think that we are in a stage where we need a watchdog organization parallel to the iOS, just like in the overseas, you see corporates. So corporate is functioning. There's a watchdog organization, which has totally no relation with the parent constitutionally formed organization. The purpose of this watchdog organization is you pick up people from different walks of orthodontics, maybe 2 freshers, 2 mid-age people, 2 senior orthodontists, and they sit maybe once a month. They see how the organization is working, what are the loopholes that we can plug, what are the questions that can be raised. People ask me, why do I not, despite having so many friends, so many contacts, stand up for the elections? I say, if I stand up for the elections, how would I raise the questions? Because I have found, see, it is my perception that many of the people, just for having that brotherhood feeling, they do not wish to ask questions if they are in the some sort of framework. So how would you address this topic? It is a very pertinent topic, and let me tell you, I found you are the best person to address this question, because this question is there. People are thinking about it. Orthodontists day in and day out are thinking about it, they are asking these questions in WhatsApp groups, wherever they are meeting in public, in person, but nobody wishes to ask this directly to anybody. Since you are contesting the post of the president, so I would really wish to have your comment over it, because it would matter. It would matter a lot to the people who are listening to you. It will benefit many people like me who wish to go out of this political system. We don't want to vote because we are not getting answers. And this is why this program is created, to get answers, that what is happening. So having given you the context of it, how would you approach this thing that I've said?
See, what I can understand from your question is that when we ask questions, we do not get the answers. Number one is that there are certain questions which should be put to the Orthodontic Society, and we do not get the answers. One question is this. Second is the so-called, there was an issue as of the IBO member, they are more well educated, something like that. So as of what my knowledge says, yes, for sure in the groups, there was from our current iOS president side, there was a mission or there was a open statement that yeah, that they have apologized and they have taken that particular WhatsApp message. They have reversed that message, but it is something like एक जबान से निकला हुआ तीर निकल जाता है, वो निकल गया तो निकल ही गया. But they have realized this is a mistake and this should not be done because we are all a part of the same family. But in that family also itself, we have an exam, and that's an IBO exam, and we clear that, and we are more refined, they say. But yes, they are actually an orthodontist itself. They have scored in that particular exam. It's an excellence exam, which is there, like it is there in American Board of Orthodontics as well. So it does not signify that the others are bad. Hota kya hai, there are, as I rightfully said before also, we have to understand things. We cannot be a judge and say, how did he write? So we have to understand, he wrote whatever XYZ person, because I would not remember the person's name as well who wrote it, but he would have written it, yes, IBO, you should give exams because IBO makes you even more, particular. It is something like we have that ISO 9001 category. Yes, we are in that category. So if they want to portray it, let there be. But not all the questions from the head office can be answered. They can be told to you silently, but every action is an equal opposite reaction. When you are sitting at a particular post, when you are sitting at the epitome of a particular association, you have to have very clear on your words what you speak. So you do not want to unnecessarily indulge into problems which are created by either of the problems. We want to solve the problems. So what I would say in that is, yes, if at all there are certain issues like why something is not being taken, why some action is not being taken by the Orthodontic Society. Yes, if that is in the purview of Orthodontic Society, it's a membership society. We are not governing body. So if it is in the membership society, yes, IBO was a concern that was being asked, that was answered as well. But if there is anything which is beyond iOS control, like some orthodontist taking general dentistry courses, that is, we can just write a letter. We can just ask for why did they do it, show cause notice. But that is what is the power for society, membership society. Rest is all taken care by Dental Council of India. They are the powerful bodies, administrative bodies, with which they can take the license. But as a membership body, we are all members of it's a small family which we have created. So we for sure look forward to answering all the questions which are raised, which we feel so. But at times there will be some questions because every person would have some or other questions wrapping up. But my suggestion to everybody would be, please ask questions. You keeping in mind would not clear doubts, would always create more jealousy or some kind of controversy in your mind. Yes, they would not be answered. But it is something like, did you ask the question? Like if you are asking me a question, I'm answering it. Similar way, they can always write it and you will get a reply. If they do not reply, you can write a second mail. Yes, you would have forgotten, please write. Because sitting idle and cursing would not make a sense. If there is a question and any written complaint is normally answered by any office, any administration, which I have seen myself. So I would not say the problems with the orthodontists are faced now for some or other reason. If at all that is in the purview or not, you can always write to the Indian Orthodontic Society head office. It is there. They would for sure, for whatever reason, they have to reply back. But sitting at home and telling would not make the things work. So this is what, if anything else, because I wanted to be crisp and clear, if at all you want to ask me something very crisp and clear, I can answer that as well. But this was a very big question. So I had to answer cumulatively, I have to come closer and then answer this.
So the idea that I can get is that obviously nobody's perfect, no organization is perfect, things happen. And how we deal with the mishappenings is what makes us what we are. So having said that, yes, the IBO thing was not something that could have happened, but it was promptly taken back. Obviously, many of the people were discussing that a white paper sort of a thing, why it happened, because it was a bit demeaning, because the words and the sentiment that was being conveyed was overboard and getting overzealous with marketing, and it was slightly demeaning of the orthodontists who are not a part of IPO. But since it was taken back, so said and done, everything is okay. So I'll quickly comment over how can a young orthodontist or a midway orthodontist or whichever member of the fraternity is, how can they contact for asking questions and queries apart from the email? Do we have a forum, or can we develop a forum in which we can talk questions to? I mean, we can interact with each other, and we can talk. We can have a question and answer session apart from the usual email way, which is a bit more formal.
Yes, we can always have the forum open, but I am still doubtful. There is an awareness forum, but as of any question and answer, which is a very valid idea, I am very sure, God bless, and if at all things work, I would for sure be open to that particular forum. But normally what I have seen in WhatsApp groups or forums, the main purpose of your question gets diverted and there is something other which gets cropped up. So normally forums are avoided in any big associations, but because this is a very interesting topic, I would for sure, if elected, I'll for sure consider opening a forum, because it's very important. Yes, if at all I have any doubt and I don't want to write an email, I can always put it on a forum so that it is trolled. Instead of our own personal Facebook accounts, it is trolled in that particular forum and it is sorted. And one more thing, as of leadership, I'll tell you very interesting thing. You know, when this COVID thing came up, I used to start working at 6:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock in the night, working on helping people only, not patients at all. So for 1.5 to 2 months, I only worked for this. And every evening when I used to, my phone battery used to be gone, and I always used to think that why so much work? Because trying to help people getting medicines, sometimes remdesivir, sometimes hospital beds. So every evening I used to think how difficult it would be for our Prime Minister, because this is an unforeseen circumstance.
Yes.
You know, to take a decision. You have to, I am not a supporter of any particular group, but all the applauds to that particular leadership, that how things have to be managed, because it's such a big crowd which has to be thought for. And we are a small society. So similarly, all the leadership, because who are leaders? It's like you and me. There nobody else. So what you think in your mind is right is same as what I would think as of my level of thinking, what my wise thinking would say. So taking decisions in masses for somebody always takes time. And normally it is well said in any leadership that time heals many things well. So you have to delay it a bit so that the things normally mellow down a bit and then you can answer it well. So that's how any leadership works. So I do not think, and as of my answer to the young generation or to the budding orthodontist or every orthodontist is, please speak, and that's a slipping of mind. So you have to stay connected to the Indian Orthodontic Society as well. Many times I feel dentists would come and say, what is Indian Dental Association given us? What is Indian Orthodontic Society has given us? So my answer to this is, because I'm active in IDA and iOS both, to me, why I am here at present in front of Dr. Anupam is only iOS. I have no academic connect with him. I have no alumni connect with him. I am just here because of his noble gesture to call me. And that's just because we get connected in conferences. And why my success story, one more thing which I forgot to mention was, it was again partly because of iOS. When I used to attend conferences, people used to ask, which city are you practicing? I used to say Jaipur. I used to get connected, and it's been 19 years regularly attending conferences. I would say 22 years. In my PG days also, I have attended every conference. So there will be very few people who have attended all the national and partly all international conferences, all media conventions. So I am one among them. So when you get a connect, as of financial benefits also, if some of the orthodontic patients, they are teenagers, at times they are in Dubai, at times they are in US, at times in Jaipur, at times in Delhi, Moradabad, wherever. So when they think of Jaipur, they would always connect it with me. They would be like, okay, Dr. Balvinder is there. And I'm not going to treat them for free. And they know it. So when I'm not going to treat them for free, I'm getting financial benefits as well. So as of hidden benefits of any society, there are a lot many. So do join societies and be active in it. We need people as a society as well, or any organization to run, to have people with great ideas. So what I mean to say, and I want to convey to all the orthodontists around is, it is not only, and you should have your own charm towards it. If at all you like leadership skills, if you like the things should go that way, so you have to come in, step in, and then do the changes. There was one person who had written to me, one very respected orthodontist, who had written to me, sir, because of the editor in Orthodontic Society, Indian Orthodontic Society, he should not be a elected member. That means that we, the other members, have no value. So never never and nowhere it is written that the non-elected members have no value. They are the most powerful people because they vote. They're the most powerful people. But his thinking was, sir, because editor journal post, I can do it well, but I may not be elected by the people. So, but make me an editor. So his question, as of his per se, I, me, myself category is right. But as of general society level, it's an election. What society feels, you may be right. Anupam is a very good person. He knows it. Balvinder would know it. But for the society to know, they have to elect a body. And then, because he'll be an elected body, and if there is any problem, it will be like elected. He is elected. उसको elect अपन नहीं करा है तो अपन को झेलना पड़ेगा या फिर जो भी है वो अच्छा काम कर रहा है तो हमने elect करा. So this is how any society works or any nation works.
We have to respect the democratic framework. We have to respect everything, and that is very rightly said by Sir. And just to crystallize it, what Sir said, iOS is working in its own way. Which thanks a lot, Balvinder Sir, for giving a very nice and crisp answer towards the question that I had asked. So the conclusion that I can draw from the last question, which is very important, is that as an orthodontist, we have to see the Indian Orthodontic Society holistically. We have to see the benefits that we can get from the networking, from getting apprenticeship from the seniors, from having a network, for getting referrals, for having a chit chat. Sometimes I've seen that a casual chit chat also leads to a quantum leap in our journey. So from that aspect, Indian Orthodontic Society is doing an amazing job. It is taking care of many things which we may never know of, right? And these things never come into the picture. There are lots of hard work behind the activities the editor does in the creating the whole of the content and the media conventions and conferences. So everything is being done stupendously, fabulously. However, as an informed orthodontist, it's your duty to raise questions in a respectful, in a better way, because we all are working at a higher level as an orthodontist. And yes, as a new hierarchy will come, we may be having more forums where we can put in our questions in a better way. And yes, learning from the past bad experiences, sometimes when the people out of their own emotional outburst might have said something bad, and this could have been reflected on the whole of the community in a bad taste. So I feel that we as orthodontists have a responsibility to understand that people are working in very nice way, going out of the way, despite being busy in their academics and their profession, still they are working a lot for the society. So we should respect that. And still we should be having questions. It's not that we should not be having questions, and proper forums should be devised in future so that the questions can be raised and can be addressed, if not by the hierarchical level management, but maybe some facilitators who can be designated by the iOS that, okay, fine, these are the 15 facilitators whom we think will be in a better position to answer the things. And any question which will be having more of an impact can be referred back to the still higher people so that they can be having a more sequential logical steps to follow. That is, I can get out of it.
Very right. Perfect.